My name is David Dandridge and I'm currently the chair of Bandstand Beds Association, which is a community food growing organisation on Clapham Common. The organisation began in 2013 with a handful of enthusiastic volunteers. Originally it was just an over 55s group, but we now work with Frog Life, which is how would you describe Frog Life?
We are a national charity associated with the conservation of amphibians and reptiles. With ponds, they can be big or small, and you can also create a pond out of just like a little washing up tub. It's great. As soon as you put a pond in your garden, the wildlife will come, the frogs, the toads, the newts. They are great at eating slugs and snails and provide great natural pest control for the garden.
Snails, well, I don't like, and the garden doesn't like using chemicals or any sort of toxic things. I mean, there's various ways of, you hear all these tips about stopping them getting on your plants. What I do at home, and if I do here if I see them, is just pick them up and squash them.
Fruit that we really love growing are blackcurrants, because blackcurrants you can't buy in the shops. We grow lots of courgettes, we have lots of fruit trees, we've got apples, pears, plums, cherries, quince. We also grow lots of rhubarb.
Well, the compost is quite incredible really, so save all the coffee grinds for making espresso coffee. Bring a load of them over here and put all the coffee into the composter bays, which then gets taken back over to the beds where the people are drinking their coffee can look at all these lovely flowers and the sunflowers growing on the compost that's been made from their coffee grinds, which I think is kind of cool.
Sometimes people just think, oh, I'm not a natural gardener, or they say, I don't have green fingers. But if you watch gardening programmes, Monty Don is forever saying, oh, my tomatoes this year weren't very good. And I think he says it every year, actually. The thing about gardening is, if you grow it and it doesn't do well this year, you kind of next year when you grow it, you try something different, but you just keep trying and you find different ways of doing things. That would always be my tip. And never be afraid to plant things and try it.
Well, I'm in a flat, so I'm a prime example. This is somebody who'd never gardened and never dreamt they could, but you come here and there's so many people who have gardened that people will always tell you, you know, this is what you do, that's what you do, that's a weed, get it out. Kill the slugs and snails and what have you. This a friend of mine, she came over here and she's in her 90s and she likes to come over here because, as she said, she goes over to one of the cafes and she'll have a coffee and nobody talks. She comes over here, everybody talks to her, it's lovely, it's a really great, it's great, it's a real community.